sure this shit's working. How we sounding? Testing 1 2 3. Are we in this bitch or what? Man, they're putting they put a spy camera up where I live. What's going on, everybody? I think we're sounding good, huh? Let's get some shit. In my neighborhood, you guys, it's sketchy, bro. It's the government, and I'm a targeted individual now. I'm changing my vibe. Sorry, guys. I actually do believe that the government is shadow ban me and shadow curse me. That's why they're doing it. Why would they do it in my neighborhood? No, I'm just kidding. I live in a very populated apartment complex. All right, welcome to my show. Looks like the OBS server is working, so if that's working okay, then I'm going to be able to send this to Facebook too. That's really exciting. And we're also going to start the dual cast stream on Twitch. You know, I try to record these and make it so you could listen to it afterwards. I know this is a rough intro, but this is a piece of technology that I haven't been using lately, so we want to make sure everything's like moving good and sleazy and breezy. Obviously, a little bit excited about the Josh Hokett guy. I'm not the, what's the right word, shock humor type, but I used to be, and I understand exactly like all his Josh Hokett stick and everything like that. Like I get it. You know what I'm saying? But let me create a post here. Fresh live. Okay. All right, and then we're gonna go live on the TikTok too. I hate all this shit, you guys. I wish there was just a button and I was on everything I needed to be, and I knew the sound was working and everything. But I'm just a solo artist out here. Look, I'm gonna go Josh Hokett, man. This guy Joe Rogan thinks he can out podcast me. He needs famous people on his show. What do you think Joe Rogan is doing right now? He's probably up gooning with Ari Schaffer. What's his name? Ari Schaffner? Ari Shatner? Yeah, this Joe Rogan guy, man. I'm gonna slip his drink with GHB instead of DMT. You know, Joe, I'm gonna go on Joe Rogan and get him to do Rufinol. And then I'm gonna show him the best time of his life, and he's not gonna remember it. Ooh, damn! What are you gonna do about that, huh? That's right. I'm gonna roofie you. Not enough for you fall asleep. No, it's a joke. It's a joke. I don't mean that, YouTube. Not like that. It's gonna be against Joe Rogan. This is the worst thing you could do. Do you think that's gonna mess with Joe Rogan's head forever? When I pull up, he thinks he's smoking DMT, going to the above realms to spiritually project. And then I'm going to give him GHB, which is roofies, and only a little bit so he has like a fun party night. Because if you really, as long as you don't do too much of the roofing, it's actually a good time. Like, if you can take your downers, bro, people buy. I mean, I talked about that last episode. Let's not talk about how people. It's whatever. I'm starting to show Hokett style. We're gonna talk a little bit about the UFC and blah blah blah. I'm not gonna be in this get up the whole time, but yeah, no, I'm just making. I was doing a cringe Josh Hokett bit essentially there. I don't really have a beef with Joe Rogan, but maybe I do. The incredible Bryan coming out, and I'm telling Joe Rogan that I'm gonna show him the time of his life, but he's not even gonna remember it. And then I'm going to have him kidnapped by nappers, and all they're gonna do is sit around and sleep and watch SpongeBob and smoke pot all day. You know how Joe, he always says he only smokes a little pot? I'm gonna get him to smoke a lot of pot, dude. No, I just, sometimes you feel get up. All right, let's actually start this. I am no longer the shock humor dum dum. Come on here and say a bunch of dumb things about Joe Rogan guy. He's a human, I respect him, but he's going down. The next big time guy on the Spotify is gonna be I'll take half his money. I'll do what he does for only $1 million a year. He needs 200 to be happy. I only need $1 million. And then I'll just be happy I can have a nice future for my daughter when she grows up. I won't even be like wanting to flex or nothing. Maybe a little bit of something, but mainly save the money for a trust in the future for my daughter. Big trust fund. Slowly pay out. Give her life security, bro. We go out there and be whatever she wants to be, man. You got, my child seen me put in this work for all of these different things, working out, lifting weights, keeping it real, that's inspiring, man. You know what I'm saying? To see your dad after, going to work and then afterwards. I mean, I don't work I have a full-time job. Obviously, it's like I'm recording this at 3:16, so probably don't have a job. But I work hard like I do have a job at all this content and growing myself and training and having fun so I can build memories and build a future all at the same time. But that's big time. Putting your effort. The child doesn't just see me sitting around. Usually whenever I sit around, I'm like multitasking. Doing like 2 things at once. I'm getting up, I stay moving, stay doing little chores. Man, I keep the place clean. It's hard to keep a place clean. I got a cat, I got me, and I got a 5-year-old that I had split custody of. We do half schedule. It's good stuff, I'm down for whatever's next. I don't care if I'm dating like all the girls and I'm like Chad Johnson and I got a bunch of baby mamas. I don't care if I just have one nice girl. I'll maybe just keep my heart open for a cult. I was thinking more something like that. All right, let's get this TikTok going here. Let's get this sent to TikTok too. See, I got my little holder here. All right. Yo, what's up, Tick? You're now tuned into Bryan Wood's World. Go Indians. They changed the name. But it's Guardians now. You know what? I like the new name and the old name. I think the new name, Guardians, was a good choice. If they're going to have to change the name, then yeah. Why wouldn't you do something that rhymes with Indians? It's pretty smart, dude. The Cleveland Indians, they changed their name to the Guardians. Now listen, man. I'm not one to make a big fuss if there's no reason to make a big fuss. And they said only 30% of people on the reservations had a problem with the name. Even the name Redskins only had like 40% of people on the reservations. So majority of the Indians didn't really mind. And in my opinion, I thought that it kept them alive, Remember how we got here? Those people were sort of slayed and sacrificed in a way. That's history. That's just history, The blood alone moves the wheels of history, man. And it can be hard enough to find your place sometimes. Sometimes you don't know where to go and what to do. And in this case, I guess a bunch of people made a big ruckus about that's really all it is, you guys. That's what some of these political things come down to, is that people don't have anything else to maybe do. But yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's the beginning of the show. Let me at least give a little bit of proper intro. I hate intros, bro. I hate intro. What's up, everybody? Somebody said hi. What's up, Zach, on the YouTube? How are you doing? I hope you're keeping it breezy, maybe a little sleazy, but always taking it easy. All right. Woo! Man, I should be a high school gym teacher, I think. You got to get a teaching license, or I show up like literally like this, like, all right. You just got to be about. You just got to like be able to get excited about little things, and that's me, dude. Like sometimes I'll just be like stinking, and that's like my sign that I'm pumped. Like, oh, I say stinking, yeah, oh, stinking. I don't. I used to say like fucking. Oh, I'm sorry, I don't want to say bad words. My bad. I'm trying. That was just the example, you know. So I'm being a little bit more cleaner. My stinking or stinking, yeah. Or I say hell yeah, man. There's this guy Ted in college. He sold us. Oh, I don't know if I can say that on TikTok. He sold us drugs. Oh, just weed. Actually, this is actually kind of a funny, interesting story. This dude leveled up as me and my college dudes moved on from freshmen to sophomores to juniors in college. This dude, freshman year, served us green, just some green. Second year, he was serving us some bars, some school buses, some green goblins, some of the traditional white Xannies. And then junior year, he was selling toot. So this dude, as we leveled up through our college careers, like, no offense, and it's college a lot, especially nowadays, and yeah, it's like there's like levels to drug dealing, you know what I'm saying? Oh shit, what's this guy? Move on from high school. I don't understand why you would say that, other than you feel that way about yourself. Are you still looking at people's posts and stuff? Is that why you're upset? My goodness. That's pretty funny. Like, how is that? What do you mean no one cares about that? That's kind of funny. That as me and my dudes were going from like intro level classes to major specific classes, dudes goes from selling us weed to Xans to coke. And I mean, like, it's college. A lot of people. I'm just sharing I don't want to get in trouble here. I actually did not peak in high school at all. I wasn't popular in high school. I was a weirdo. Dude, I'm all like Josh Hoketed out here. I'm a weird guy. You understand? I was extremely weird. King Donald Jesus Trump, I promise you, if you fart around and mess with me a little bit, you're going to like it, because I do support what you're doing with the trolling. Most of these people are jackwagons that did peak in high school, and they're trying to get validation back. I'm trying to bring something different and special to the game. Right now, this live is really just me live streaming to YouTube. And my lives on YouTube, I try to make them good, and me talking a lot, and it's not just me sitting here like, reading the chat. Like, I got all the shit, you know what I'm saying? I got notes here. I got some notes here. I got the rewind function if I forget what I'm talking about, because I'm neurodivergent. I'm on the autism spectrum. If I forget what I'm talking about, I'm able to go back. Like, I might forget exactly what even were we talking about. Oh, yeah. So no, don't feel bad, dude. Like, I know what you mean, bro. And I literally rant that all the time. Like, you peaked in high school. But no, I didn't peak in high school at all. I mean, I chose to be with my dudes, you know what I'm saying? I chose to be with my dudes. I could have been more popular, but I didn't want to act the way that, because the popular kid, man, they just blah, blah, blah. Everything likes to be blah, blah about something and picking on little details about you. And it's like, okay, y'all gonna, like, if I were to do something goofy, like wear the gloves or something, you know what I'm saying? Or wear my dude, this was $15 at Walmart. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna be the weirdest, not the weirdest, but somehow, I'll tell you what, I'm gonna be the weirdest and most poshed out swag boy all at the same time. I'll be the weirdo. I'll be the nerd. I'll be the freaky one. I'll be the smart one. I'll be the funny one. I'll be the strong one, gym guy one. I'm diverse and have mad range in my life and my style. And that's exactly why I'm here. A lot of these people, Man, the internet and all this shit's always been a calling for me as a youngster, man. I used to do, like, me and my cousins would just hit each other in the basement with bean bags, and we posted it. And then one time I made this link, and I got in trouble. I got my channel, like, banned. Because I put this link, it said that we hit him with the beanbag chair, and my little cousin was all jacked up, and it said like help pay for his charity or something. And you click the link, and it was a link to my channel. I thought I was edgy as fuck for doing that. I was like, that was fucked up though. I was like, please support it, and the link took you to my channel to hope that you would subscribe. What's up, user? User 31382710344448. Please report to Sector 5G7 for re-education. Today we're going to talk about why Cam Newton does not suck. You know what? Stinking. I'm excited now. I like it. I like this. Cam Newton, man. Look at it. Did you even see the autograph picture? There's an autographed Cam Newton picture. The Panthers are my second favorite team. I wanted the Browns to get Cam Newton, but they didn't, so I just made the Panthers my second favorite team. Because you said Cam Newton sucks, what I'll do is I'll show you my Cam Newton jersey. Okay, you like that? Yeah, you asked for me to pull it out, right? It says, keep pounding. And I wanted to pull this out because it says, keep pounding. Okay? Because your mom was pounding her butt. Well, I can't say all that. She was pounding the steak that she was thinking of Cam Newton while she was pounding the steak that she cooked you for dinner. She was thinking about how dangerous he was at the goal line as a rushing quarterback. Yeah, you like that? I'm gonna go hoke it on you, man. I'm in hoke it mode. I'm usually more chill. Come on now. I understand what you mean, though. Sometimes he does suck a little bit. Everybody sucks a little bit. I suck a little bit. User, you probably suck a little bit, too. Dude, we all probably suck a little bit. It's no big deal. Everybody sucks, dude. Literally everybody sucks. Like, we all suck in some way or another. We suck a nipple when we were a baby to drink milk. That's how childs grow, from drinking titty milk. I tried some before. Oh, dude, of course. Of course I'm going to try titty milk if I have if there's a thing of titty milk and I'm helping her. At one point, I was, what is that, like married, a normal, no offense, it had nothing to do with the girl, honestly. It could have been Livy Doon or Kim Kardashian. Like, I'm just like, this is limiting my potential. I don't want to share my space with another adult. If I'm sharing my space, I want it to be either like someone that's all in on what I'm doing with shit, with content, but also having a real life, having some real life, doing some real life jobs too, here and in and out. You never know where I'm up to. What's up with the sunglasses, dude? You're inside. Thank you, Mary. I appreciate it. No, I'm in Hoket. I'm going to be talking about the UFC White House. It's one of the things we need to talk about. We got anybody? I can't really see the... Oh, damn, everything is bright as hell, bro. That's why I'm on... Because the lighting and these two screens. I got my phone that's full brightness. I got two computer screens here. I got lights all over the place. Damn, bro. I took them off and, like... Yeah, I feel you, though. I'm inside, right? I am inside, but, like, it's fucking bright in here. It's bright like our futures. God, I hated that. Ugh. I sold vacuums one time, and he's like, it's bright outside today like our futures. In the back of my head is like, if you don't fucking pay me and stop talking about how you have to go to a food bank, like, no, we're not. You're not going fucking anywhere. You gotta put... Some people just like walking the walk, you feel me? But what's up, Chinchi? Yeah, I am on live, bro. I'm sorry if I didn't get to you. Live, late night. Sometimes since I'm not working right now, I can kind of structure my sleep schedule to when I want to like hit some all-night markets and shit like that, I'll be on the YouTube and the TikTok and some parts unknown that I'm not going to get into. And I might have the most followers and viewers on the things that I'm not going to get into. And maybe there's some people from there, but I can't cross. I can only cross one way. I can't cross the bridge back. You feel me? So I gotta keep things on the hush pipe, and I don't want to get into any of that. That's not what I want to. Let's ring the bell. It's inappropriate. Being facetious, man. But yeah, it's just so bright in here, like all of our futures. What was I talking about? Rewind function. It's the best function in the world. Oh, we were talking about buttered. Oh yeah, okay. It was. I don't want to. Sometimes I forget what I'm talking about, and I have more to say about it. Oh, someone said Cam Newton sucks, and it distracted me. He did a good job of distracting me. Oh yeah, so I was agreeing with the dude because I was like, listen, man. There's a lot of people out there that like kind of deserve to get trolled almost, you know what I'm saying? They're here because like, oh, you can make easy money in this, or oh, blah blah blah, and it's not. If you want to be niche and try to fit into a niche and have a bunch of AI making a bunch of stuff and boom 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 type of shit, clickbait, blah blah blah, sure. But if you want to be like, you know, an organic or orgasmal come up in this shit, you gotta be you gotta be yourself, and you gotta bring the heat and the sauce, man. And that's what I'm here to do. But a lot of people don't. They're just kind of pandering to the chat. And hey, sometimes I was saying yesterday, like sometimes those people that leave a lot of dead air, they just kind of scroll the chat and read chat. I don't even like saying "What's up, chat" or anything. I don't like that shit. What's up, people? What's up, everybody? You know, let's make it more real, down to earth. But I'm someone with some pizzazz and can come on here and have a lot to say about anything. Uh, yeah, maybe we could do like a live stream. I'm gonna be in the Canton area this weekend, Chinchi. But yeah, I always had a calling, man, for video production. I was in a video production class in high school. We were in the film festival. We made a spoof of The Office. I played Jim. Um, I like to try to make Call of Duty videos, like some montage, like throwing nice knife, quick scope, Black Ops 1, and then the Jackass. There is a Jackass video on my channel. I'll tell you this: from about age 12 to 18, I partook in one thing. Yeah, we had a couple summers where I was all in. I've been tipped over in a porta potty voluntarily twice in my life. There might have been a third time. I remember there being a third time. Um, you know, I was kind of the Johnny Knoxville a little bit, sort of the ringleader. I was like Jeff Tremaine combined with Johnny Knoxville, kind of the director, ringleader of it. But I like Johnny Knoxville. I did some bigger shit to try to get on film that would look good on film to get other people inspired, you know. So there is a Jackass. There's the porta potty tip. I only have the OG porta potty tip. The other one was crazy, bro. It was like out in the country with these at the softball fields. Nobody was there at this point in time. And then when we did, it was the porta pole. It was the legendary porta pole. The footage is gone. You know, it's like like once a year I search through my parents' house, try to find like a flash drive or an old camera that might have some of those Jackass films. There's a dude, his name is Declan Conway, and he's in like professional hockey. I don't know if he's in the NHL, but we used to, my friends lived in their neighborhood, and we'd go over there. They were a big time hockey family, and he's like pro now. It was kind of fun because he was like a good lifter for hockey, and I was like a bigger like linebacker DN type football and shit. So we would, you know, we'd be lifting. It was interesting to see. You know, at the end of the day, you're a hockey guy, I'm a football guy, but we're both strong and we're both doing the same bench press. You know, it's something that weightlifting can bring people from the other sports together, you know? That's beautiful. What else was I saying there? Hold up. I'm neurodivergent, so we gotta have the rewind function so I can be a good podcaster and not just go through too many things. So yeah, the Jackass videos, I put a lot of work into that, you know, and I was the one with the camera a lot of the times. I'd be trying to like buy a camera off people when I could. So yeah, I had this like flip camera. Damn that. Where the fuck's that flip camera? I think I tried it. It didn't have what I was hoping it would have. But that might be the key, that flip camera. But yeah, I don't know. I lost a lot of the footage. It's disappointing. There was some downhill wagon shit. There was some wagon shit pulling. We were pulling the wagon on a bike. But yeah, this porta pole, the second one that's lost footage. We went to the softball fields. I get in this porta potty, and they tie it all up with a rope. So I'm in the porta potty. It's tied with a rope. So like, I can't get out. You know, then they pull me around a bunch. They pulled me around, and I was really like, I was in the back of that porta potty riding it, and the thought was to go fast enough to knock me over. It was pretty fucking dangerous, actually. But I knew that if I pulled it off, it would, you know, other people would do a lot of shit for me, and it sort of worked. But yeah, and then they just tipped me over at the end for the fuck of it, and you had to untie it, and I was like, get me the fuck out of here. And we went right back to the friend's house to spray me off with a hose. Like, I had towels and everything ready. It was pretty cool. We did like a little back, you know, before it. Like, I'm next to the porta potty, and my dude's like, yep, here in about 30 minutes, our other dudes are going to be here. We're about to do the porta pole. I'm actually going to get in this porta potty and let y'all tie me up into it, tie it up to somebody's car, and pull me the fuck around the softball fields. And it's kind of sad, bro. It's a sad story because it's gone now. You know, well, what? Why the hell would you do something like that just for shits and giggles? No one would ever do anything like that for shits and giggles. No one gets covered in shit for shits and giggles unless you're like into some. Yeah, let's not get into all that, man. One of my exes, is a little sussy in terms of. I don't know. I don't know, man. Sometimes you just hear the way people inflect things and say things. Like, that girl might be into some poop stuff, and better watch out, brother. I don't know. Some of these, you know, I'm actually divorced, but I don't like. I've been around enough where it's like, well, my ex-wife was one of the good ones. If I was with her, at least, you know, she wasn't for me, but I did have, you know, I was with her for 3 years. That's not bad. I was with a good woman for 3 years. That's pretty accomplished. I don't really have to worry about that. I already had a child, so I was married. You get divorced, you get to be a single parent, and then, you know, half your life is being a dad, and you know, you go see the grandparents and great grandparents and family. You do all this fun stuff, and the other half, I can chase, you know, goals as a content creator. When I don't have her, I have some, you know, my window for when I can work. I'm down. You know, could I do an overnight shift for a short period of time? Sure, you know, if it's the right money. So it keeps me flexible with life and shit like that. You know, I don't have no woman barking at me. You got to be this. I can kind of take the long journey and try to really chase my dreams and look back and say, hey, man, you know, during this time period, I'm sure if I would have just been working full time at the best job possible I could find, I might have a lot of money, might be able to have a house and a car. Maybe I'll have a lot of nice stuff or something, but at least I saved for my child, for my daughter, you know? And that's just really what you know, it's genuine. I don't even talk about it that much because I don't want to sound like a chooch, you know? It's genuine. If you see me with my daughter and you see how I am, like, it's definitely, you know it's genuine. Like, I just like parenting, and I wasn't happy married. So I like to talk about that stuff because a lot of people go through it, man. Like, you just see the look in their eyes, divorced guy, his weekend with the kids, and he kept the house, but, you know, it's just, how am I ever going to find another woman? And it's just like, well, man, you know, you take your wins and your losses sometimes. You say, at least I got to spend that time with that person and see what was up and what was happening. And maybe it didn't work out. If you get aligned, and if you can flush out all the negativity and just be proud of yourself. Just be, even, if you're the one that got dumped, especially, like, this is powerful advice. Like, it's like getting cut by a sports team, dude. But this is different. You can just go make, this is life. You can just go make your own team. I need, like, to be happy. Like, I need a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a FTM friend, TF friend, one person that's gender neutral. I need then someone that's a furry, doesn't matter what gender, just furry. That's about it. And I could be happy, I think, in a relationship if I had all those people, Other than that, I'd just rather be single, you know what I'm saying? I'm like I don't know, man. I'm not good at analogies. Fuck that shit. That's the one. You had a PB and J? Hell yeah. Put peanut butter. A peanut butter and Jeffrey, huh? Ooh. Peanut butter and Jones. What do we got? Anybody want to guess? You know what, Chinchi? I don't know. Nah, you might not get this. I don't really have anybody watching live in the moment, but maybe for the future, I'm recording the show for the YouTube too. We're live on YouTube. So this is an official podcast thingy. So I hope to have some rewatchability, But this is a shirt. This is the Cleveland Indians, and now Cleveland Guardians. That's Majestic brand. I don't even know if they're still around. Well, probably, but if you can guess this jersey, I'm gonna give away absolutely nothing. I'm gonna give away a kiss, which is actually like, I'm a prostitute, so like kissing included, maybe like, extra 200. I don't like that love shit. No, I'm just playing, you guys. I'm a nice lover boy. Kisses and hugs for free. But no. What was I saying? Brain fart moment. Thank God for the rewind function. Peanut butter jelly. Oh yeah, the Indians jersey. Okay. All right. 3, 2, 1. And now we're gonna reveal whose name is on the back of the jersey. Oh snap! Can you see that on the tube there, the YouTube? Can you all see it? 33. That's Nick Swisher. You see back here, I got some Swisher Sweets, honey banana, because when I first started, buying schmack, I was the first thing I did was roll the blunts. That was the first way that I'd literally like learn to smoke weed and shit. Was rolling the blunts and shit and stuff. Man. This is what happened when you're doing business. You start learning how to do that shit. I'll be talking about that sweets all the time. Talking about how much I was in that dope, man. I'll tell you how much I was into that dope, man. I sold that Bubba Hash. I sold Bubba Hash 20 years. You start smoking Bubba Hash, start turning on me. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know how what happened smoking that Bubba Hash, man. No, that's my character, Bubba Hash, man. I'm just playing with y'all, man. I'm not gonna talk like. Well, I talk. I have different phases. I'm like personality fluid, You never know what you're gonna get from me. But yeah, Nick Swisher, man, he was a real he was from Ohio or something, or maybe he just went to Ohio State. I don't know. But no, I think he was like an Ohio guy. Uh-oh, are we muted on YouTube? It said YouTube Gloop said, "Okay, I can't hear anything. I have no idea what's going on, but you seem like a champ and a wholesome king, so I approve of whatever this is." Okay, well, I'm listening to it right now on YouTube. I have a separate computer and I can hear it. So I think volume. Someone tell him his volume's down. Fuck. Thank you. That's a nice. I'm a wholesome king. Yeah, I'm a wholesome king, bro. I mean, yeah. Was I a little? All right, we're good. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. I'm just doing my thing, you know. I'm just doing my thing, most definitely. But yeah, Nick Swisher was like, he was a wholesome king. I mean, funny that you bring that up. Uh, was this person say you were giving away that Santa sleigh just a moment ago? Can can you anyone who has a Santa sleigh please trade with me? My name is Sissy's 38. What's up, Sissy's 38? Wink wink. Yeah, man. That's Chinchy. Chinchy. They can see the mod. They know you're approved, bro. You're good. But yeah, Nick Swisher. He wasn't really that good. He was on like I think maybe like the Athletics, and then the Yankees had him. He actually played good when he was on the New York Yankees, and then the Indians paid him a way big contract, and he wasn't very good. It was they finally got some free agents, and we ended up with this dude. But he was a glue guy, man. He was a leader, and he got the team going. You know, they weren't that good. They didn't have the most talent when he was on the team, but they were decent because you know they had guys like him. We have a guy like that now named Austin Hedges, and he just can't hit the ball. Like if you throw a beach ball, he probably couldn't hit it with a tennis racket, man. But this year he's actually hitting that ball. Let me tell you, he's hitting that done did ball about goddamn far as I ever seen him hit the mother stinking ball. Smoke crack, Shadow. Valid. It's a dirty song, but someone's got to sing it. Hell yeah, I like dirty music. All I need is one more pussy, dirty stink, suck my dick. My life's a movie. Well, I don't know if that's the exact words. But it's Juicy J. All I need is one more drink, one more drink. So I can freestyle kind of good, like sometimes. Now, some of that is because, like, if you listen to a lot of rap music, I do podcasting, so, like, I think of things all the time. It's just like, well, you just have to think of things to say that rhyme. And I'm like, you do that, and, you know, it's not like, you know, I wouldn't go around saying I can spit, but I think, like, if someone was going around saying I can spit, and then they do some raps, it's, you know, it's going to be, like, a whole bunch of like gang shit like you'd hear, but didn't you know the person? It's like, well, you know, you just party and do cocaine, and it doesn't really. You have to like be in. You know what I'm saying? We live in Ohio. Just because you know, maybe they're associated with a gang. I don't know, but you know. Well, like, you know, everyone raps about fucking bitches and all. I'm sorry, I don't want to say too many bad words. It's not cool, dude. No, I don't care. It's just the TikTok, I guess, doesn't like it. They can bleep it out. YouTube, there's a parental advisory explicit content sticker so that people can know what's about to happen. And honestly, really, I'm flexing out today on my Walmart $15 Walmart watch and my gloves because I was excited about Josh Hokett, the UFC fighter. He won. I'm not like the dark humor, or not. No, I'm dark humor. I'm not shock humor, where you're just kind of like, oh, Michelle Obama's a dude. There's a whole bunch of people that say that online and stuff. Look, dude, you can do it. You can take any woman and freeze frame, and it looks like they have a bulge sometimes. Also, maybe I don't know. At the same time, I don't rule out stuff. I don't rule out if it's got momentum. I'm not gonna rule out. You know, it's not my job to. You know. I don't know if these people are really that real. And you know. I think a lot of that stuff too is a little bit of controlled opposition. I hate to say it. Stuff like Michelle Obama's a dude, because it doesn't matter if Michelle Obama's a dude. Oh, Obama's gay, blah blah. I'm pretty sure Obama, didn't they say he talked about having a bisexual experiment in college or something in his own book? Okay, I think he's gonna. I'm pretty sure I heard He kissed a guy. I don't know. Someone said that. Maybe that's wrong. But you know it does. If the president of the United States was gay, and Michelle was a dude, it just doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? So they put those conspiracies out there so that the conspiracy theorists get behind something like that, and then the other side's gonna alienate them even more for saying something so extreme and making all these videos that Michelle's dude and all that shit. And it takes away from like that's energy, bro. We only have 24 hours a day. We spend 4 to 12 hours sleeping, depending on who you are, and like you know what I'm saying? And especially if it's like government and politics thing, if you're really in, people are supposed to be in that for, trying to fight for the right opinions, that the best policies, that's best for the most people. They're trying to study how to make things the best for everybody. And even if you're in the conspiracies, you're wasting time talking about like Michelle Obama being trans. Like, you're wasting your time. It doesn't make a difference. You know? I'd rather talk about flat Earth. And, I am an actual flat earther, just so you guys know. It's over a decade now. Around this time in 2016, I lost a debate, a multi-week debate with my roommate and best friend at the time. And now he's dead, so it makes me even double flat Earth. But, well, he passed away. That's not the best way to say it. But, like, yeah, my dude Gary taught me about, hey, this is my roommate, my friend. He's saying the earth is flat. I gotta try to, like, I gotta prove, what is all this shit? What are you watching? And then next thing you know, dude, it's pretty, I don't know, changed my life. I feel like it made me a better person. Accepting the truth that we live on a flat motionless plane and we're not hurtling through space at millions of miles per hour and unconceivable light years and all these big numbers they throw at you. Look, and I'm saying, and I don't want to throw something out there and at least give some kind of, for the TikTok, I don't know if they let you talk about flat Earth. I don't really talk about it, or it's not my job to convince anybody, but like a lot of the content involves this phenomenon, and maybe gravity causes it, I don't know, but they're pulling up stuff that should be hidden behind curvature. Like, they're zooming in with cameras, they're seeing shit, look, mirage, bending the light, gravity, I don't know. Oh, fuck. Misinformation, I knew it. Hold on. Gotta restart the TikTok. I was just, all you have to do is say flat Earth and they get mad. That was stupid. Why would they do that to me? I didn't even, I just got flagged for misinformation for bringing up the flat Earth, and I was going to talk about it, but now I really kind of can't. Basically, just seeing things that you're not supposed to be able to see. Okay, look. I was talking about it and I did this yesterday, that the AI does not skim whether you actually like what side you're on now. Apparently, anything political, it just throws misinformation, even if you're debating that it's not real. But yeah, I was saying that I was a flat Earth, so I can see why the AI got mad. But I don't. Why wouldn't you let me say that, TikTok? I would like to know. That's a little interesting, especially when I started explaining how all these people have all these examples of zooming in on shit. You're not supposed to. Why would you pull me so quickly and so adamantly? That was pretty sketch. That was a pretty quick, like, ooh, as soon as I started talking about it. Hold on a second. Let's mute these assholes for a second. Someone in a freaking Chinese work slave dungeon working for TikTok sitting there saying I'm misinformation just from talking about flat Earth. At least YouTube lets you talk about it. I never got in trouble for talking. I've been yelling at people that the Earth is flat on YouTube before. I used to be toxic about that. Alright, we've been on here for, anybody know how long? Kitty, careful with the mic now. How long have we been on here for? Uh-oh. What did I do? Shit. Oh. Young Shaq West, and I'm getting really rich. Getting willy witch. Where'd it go? I accidentally closed my own... what's going on here? This is stick season, boy. It's getting sticky. Alright, let me go use the potty. I've been live for 10,000 hours. I think we're... Oh, yeah. We've been on for a minute, so let me go... Cool. I'm gonna go use the restroom. Be right back. Got 2 minutes. I'm gonna bring this with me. Intermission. I forgot to put the intermission sign up, my bad. Let's go make some little energy drink. Got these energy drink packets, stone packets with the caffeine in it. feast on nachos. I mind my biz. If I catch somebody really looking at me or give me an indicator, cause I'll just start talking my mouth, bro. I'll just start. It's like I'm on a podcast, but there's like a woman there. It's like a lie. It's easy. I used to not be good at women, but then I did a bunch of live streaming, and now my brain's like a little mini algorithm type thing. You know, I think maybe I was actually really good at all along. I just didn't have the bravery to just speak my mind and let it loose. And because people, I don't know. I guess you get even a little bit of teasing can mess with someone's psyche. Now, some people do deserve to have their psyche messed with, and I think that a lot of it made me who I am today. But sometimes you look back on certain times that you second-guessed yourself, and it caused you to miss out on opportunities. I recommend sending some kind of like DM on Facebook. You send the DM and then you instantly block them. So it will pop up as a notification, but when they try to like look at what the message exactly said, they can see the notification and see that it's mean, potentially, or crazy. And they can see, oh shit, that's that one dude that I kicked I kicked his shins in first grade every time he went to go piss. I send him something crazy like, I'll pimp you out, you big bitch, like a man. Horrible. The worst thing you could think of. Craziness. Because then, like, they're going to feel even mad because, like, oh, wow, this person's 30 now and still message me. Like, that really has a bad effect. And they'll think of all the times they're mean to anyone in their entire life as a kid or adult and realize that it had a negative effect on someone's development potentially. And then they'll feel even worse about it and even, it's just kind of what goes around karma. I just fall in karma. Sometimes karma can, I get really mad and things just gotta, I gotta pout off on some. But see, you get that toxic stuff out of you, and then you can be the good person. You gotta go at the right people, because the wrong people can make you end up going at your own people. No, you go at the people that caused the original anger, and you don't hold back. You're not kind about it. You see that, bro? Look at that, 15, bro. Yeah, 15 big ones, $15 at Walmart. So I think you can remove links maybe, but they don't really sit right. So it's more of like a prop. What's up? It says, "Hey, I love Noah Kahan." Who's that? Do I look like him or something? I don't know. Someone on the YouTube said that. Yeah, I found loot. I posted that video. It's a short. I was picking up my friend. He works at the movie theater. I was picking him up in the back, and we had to swoop back in. We had to swoop back around because he forgot to clock out. I was like, oh shit, you better swing back around, and then I'll pull up and we're next to the dumpster. Next to the dumpster is a dresser. And it had the bottom 3 drawers were still in the dresser. And I'm like, I'm going to check that shit. Because I'm a weirdo. If I see a dresser next to it, I'm checking it. What if they left, this is how you find crazy stuff. Or what if they left money in the bottom they just forgot about for years and years and they didn't bother to check? And I found, it's in the short on here. I found a Nerf bullet, a golf ball, which is a sign because I haven't been golfing yet this year. Because my clubs got burned up in a car fire. I got new clubs, though. We're good. So, yeah, it was... I found this little... I guess it's a thing to scoop, ice. One of those little, tong things. It's golden, though. Little mini golden tongs. I can use those, flip burgers. Or they just look cool. I can just put them on display. They look cool. Golden tongs. I can, hang them in the kitchen somewhere, and it looks official. Even if I never use it, it looks cool. I always got some golden tongs right there. You never know what I might have to tong. You never know when you're gonna need to tong something. did I not get to that? Somebody, a YouTube gloop had originally said, "What wisdom do you got for us?" Yeah, it's like, I feel you. I mean, usually if I were gonna just the short edition, probably just law of affirmation. Like what I don't know. I think that was earlier. I think that was one of the first things he said. But yeah, law of affirmations. And you just what you assume what you assume to be true can come true, whether negative or positive. So if you live in a negative mindset and you're remembering all the shitty things that happen, you might get a shitty thing thrown your way. But if you remember the good and you command the universe, look, we're all here to face a little bit of suffering sometimes. It's built for that, and we're built to handle it. But yeah, you want to minimize that. You want to minimize suffering. You don't want to be getting drugged through the pit for no reason. And that's a beautiful thing. All right, let's talk. What do I want to talk? UFC White House. Yeah, I mean, I'm a UFC fan. I've been in the UFC like pretty heavily for 3 years now. I was never really into it that much, other than watching some fight nights of some of the big fights sometimes, occasionally, but I've really got into it. At first, you kind of bet on it. It's fun to bet on. Kind of hard to follow what's going on, and then the sport really slows down. It's quite beautiful, actually. Like I'm noticing all these things. Like, damn, every time Cyril Gane throws like a strike he's getting, like he's protecting himself because he knows about those fucking leg kicks from Pierre that come out of nowhere. I think on one of the knockout strikes, you could see that Gane lands this strike and pretty much knocks Alex Pierre out, but his hand isn't. Now Pierre's not throwing shit because he's all dazed. He hurt him bad, and you notice as like Gane's falling, like as that punch thing, he had his hand like up, like already, like right here. I think it was kind of emotional and powerful to see. Like, I like Topuria and I like Alex Pira, and they were like the two of the best guys, most like in terms of recent accomplished and who seems like the toughest. It'd be those two guys, and most pretty popular too. But it's the way that they lost and the amount of damage that they're able to take. A human being should not be able to take strikes like that from Cyril Gane. Big heavyweight, any heavyweight. The heavyweight division is not made, for that. I mean, Derek Lewis took a fucking beating too. Like, that was pretty tough. But I don't even know how hard Hoke was really hitting him. Like, I think he was kind of toying with him. But Hoke was also tired too. They're heavyweights, But man, to see Piera get beat up, and we don't really know I mean, we've seen him get knocked out by Adesanya, who's a knockout artist. So, like, other than that, when have you really seen Piera take a beating? Or same with Topuria. You never seen Topuria take a beating like that. And I think what it showed for those two guys at the top of the sport, that it's not just their talent. And maybe a lot of that talent came from hard work and actually like working as hard as you can possibly work every day, training for the fight. And also it shows their spirit. Topuria really believed that he was going to win. And a lot of times, like in that fight, I could just see him in his head. Like, I know what he's thinking right now. He's thinking back to his training, thinking about the scenario where things get tough and he's getting the snoppy out of him. He's gonna have to try to figure out how to work his way out of the fight and battle back against Justin Gaethje, who's one of the most war-tested UFC fighters of all time. Who's gonna have a strong chin? Who's gonna be really hard to know? We've seen Justin Gaethje take crazy beatings before and stay alive and stay with it. So to see that side of Torparia, when I think people do question that, they're like, okay, he's got this super talent. He's very, some people call it arrogant. Some people say it confident. You know, he'll kind of party before. He knows he's gonna win. He's always saying he's gonna win. He was undefeated, and you know, as a MMA fighter, his whole entire career. But you really didn't know if, you know, some of this pretty boy stuff with him and what kind of beating he was going to take. And maybe as he worked down as a man, you know, going, you know, having like the divorce or whatever with his wife. I don't even know what all happened there. And I'm not going to get into another man's shit like that. I'm not going to, oh, what happened? Did his wife leave him? Like, did she cheat on him? You don't get in. Who cares? And that was kind of a recent thing over the last year. And I've went through like a large, you know, like not a crazy large, like it wasn't that bad or drama, too much drama, you know, maybe a little bit in the beginning, but it can definitely like get you to take it to another level. I feel like getting divorced was like the birth of like, okay, now that someone's probably out of your life, you're going to be connected and have to deal with them here and there because you're sharing time evenly with the kid. But like I can kind of like, I don't have anybody over my shoulder, so I can kind of start to dream again. Like I don't have anybody questioning my steps and how I'm moving. I'm not under anybody's microscope. I'm not living with another adult. Like, you know, I have the opportunity to say, okay, let's really evaluate how you probably feel about the content. Like, I know I was doing a lot of stuff for fun, but I mean, I would get off work and then go live stream. I was working this temp job where sometimes you'd come in at like 6, sometimes you'd leave at 11, sometimes you'd leave at like 5 p.m. It just depended. So yeah, there's a lot of times up in that chicken shack we were stacking bags of bird seed and chicken feed and all these different blends of bird seed. There's like so many different blends. The whole bird feeding is like a massive deep. It goes deep, bro. Certain types of feeds to attract certain types of birds. Like, oh, this will get the sparrows. This will get the blue jays. This will get the cardinals. And I remember a lot of days in there tweaking out and having a lot of work to do, but like I have so much on my mind, I want to get up on there. And yeah, it's a hobby, it's something fun, but if you look at like how I really looked at like how I was spending my energy in this. And you kind of have to frame it to your significant others. Oh, it's just a fun thing, a hobby, because you don't want them to think you're going to like, you know, not work or like jump over to this or give them, you're giving your podcasting more time than you give with them, blah, blah, blah. It's just like, that's what I want to do. I don't, you know, like if I don't want to. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Grenda says, have a beautiful night and morning, brother. I love you and I'm proud of you. Thank you, Grenda. I appreciate it. Hell yeah. Peace be with you. Hold on, what was I talking about? I'm neurodivergent. That's why we have the rewind function here. Rewind. Alex Taporia. Oh yeah, so anyways. Yeah, you know, it's like I put a lot of days that I was completely tired from the chicken shack and had nothing left. And, you know, I know that my partner wasn't going to be home till like 5 or 6. And I had a few hours to like go at it. And even if I'm tired or you want to just sit around and play video games or you go for it. You fucking hit the gas pedal, man. And I was doing sports stuff. It's kind of like following the news a little bit, doing some underground news, conspiracy. Like, okay, I tried to be a sifter. Like, hey, there's all these conspiracies out there that are actually just detractors and controlled opposition, that they want you to talk about this so they can kind of hide what they're really doing. You know, there's a lot of stuff like that in the conspiracy stuff. Like, there's no such thing as uncover, like, oh, which group is controlling it, and the Freemasons and Jays and all that. You know, it don't matter who it is, because evil is the real domain, man. Evil is the domain that's what we're up against, man. The evil that's trying to destroy humanity. We're a fucking story, bro. We're history. His story. That's what we're making today. So yeah, anyways, I kind of sifted through stuff, say, you know, like, what's hooey, what's hogwash, and what should you actually, you know, have some kind of concern or discretion towards. You feel me? We should probably do my intro. Really, I just podcast to express my multiple personality disorder. My full shows are available on Spotify, Apple Podcast. If you're watching this on the TikTok, pretty much when I'm live on the TikTok, that means I'm actually, like, I'm not just live seeing who's gone. I'll respond to some comments and stuff like that, but we're doing the show. I've got my notes. You know, we're talking UFC. We're trying to make something, trying to breed something magic, you know. So there's, you know, more stuff on, you know, you can rewatch stuff on YouTube. I do a loop show on YouTube that loops all the old episodes. Kind of like a 24/7 type thing. Keep it available like a TV channel, you know, keep available. I do upload a lot of shorts here on the TikTok too. We can go Facebook, Instagram, and parts unknown. Can't get into anything else other than that. Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy? Wouldn't you like to know, Weather Boy? But yeah, you know, I like people who are good, and dare to be different. I like, no matter what side they're on. Like, I'm the only one in your life that you'll meet that would, like, both support Josh Hokett, someone doing some fringe right stuff, and then also be a fan of, like, I don't know, like, you know, sussy people. You know, if I like what they have to say and they're wise, I don't care if somebody's, like, trans or anything like that. It's not, like, I see people for themselves, and, you know, and I think nobody's gonna ever be perfect. So if you want to start thinking, oh, this person's perfect, you have to live in a box. Ain't nobody perfect, you know. You don't gotta fit into all the different boxes that people try to put you in, you know. Life ain't, we're not all boxers, you know. We gotta get outside the box, get outside the ring, and just watch and observe. You know, I'm just, let's see, I mean, as far as I know, I've been on live for like an hour, 30 minutes, and now doing the intro. You gotta mix it up. And that's exactly what I do, you know. I just have some range. Don't ask questions, you know, don't ask too many questions. You know, sometimes people, long hair, earring, you know, nose ring. They want to focus on these little mundane things that, like, a whole bunch of people would have liked about you. So that's sad sometimes, you know, to see people that have a lot of good stuff to say, and they got a lot of magic to them. But they might get overlooked because they're different. Or people might make them feel bad because they focus on the dumb little silly things, you know. But anyways, yeah, going back to my what I was talking about there. With both Alex Pira and Ilya Topuria, the way they lost and the amount of shots that they took. I mean, Piero was. I think he was like knocked out and came back, and they let it keep going. He fell like a tree a few times and was absolutely stunned. But he like the Chama, and I felt that. Well, I always feel his when I first really started paying attention. I got starting to get to know Alex Piera and like that Chama shit. I don't know if it's a little bit of dark magic because dark magic always, in the end, like falls off. And then the light magic, like Justin Gaethje, yeah, and that's not really. It doesn't really apply. But you know what I'm saying? There's a little bit of dark aura, I think, in the Chama. Like it's a little scary. So just the way he walks out. I know he's a well-intentioned individual. I do believe. Alex Pira is not like John Jones. I think that he had struggles earlier in life with alcohol and stuff like that as a kid, and never wanted to go back to that. I think John Jones still struggles a little bit with substances and stuff. Whenever I see someone behaving a certain way on social media that I only behaved like when I was drunk or under the influence of a substance or something, you know what I'm saying? I gotta start thinking like, okay, because I don't do that anymore. And it's like, how do I feel accomplished enough that whenever you just put the buttons together like he's probably on something if he's gonna go rant. And it just might be beers, People might just be on beers riffing off on social media. It happens to a lot of people. I used to do that. But yeah, it made me appreciate, even though they lost, it made me appreciate them that said, hey, these guys, it wasn't just the talent. They really were working hard. They're really trying to be the best. And they also have that bravery and courage to, Topuria, he couldn't see. That last round he fought, they almost called off. His corner, like he wasn't gonna get knocked out. It was gonna be a TKO. He just wasn't. So that's pretty crazy. And Justin Gaethje is, if you ask certain guys, he's one of like the hardest hitters in the UFC ever. Like, the last, like, Islam fought him, I believe. And they'll say like he's one of the hard, like you feel his punches the most. So to take that onslaught and just keep going shows that one, he's Topuria and Pierre, they train very tough. They take the sparring seriously. They've obviously done some hard sparring to be able to take a freaking beating like that. Again, Pierre taking shots from Cyril Gane, who's just a heavyweight. It's harder. When it's a heavyweight, they're hitting harder. And to take all those just getting smacked. Just getting smacked. Absolutely murked. And he was knocked out, and it was that all he had left was like the Chama magic. All he had left was like his spiritual powers. His body was failing, all fucked up. Head absolutely rung his bell. His bell was rung. He was probably knocked out for the last minute and just didn't even know what the fuck was going on. He probably doesn't remember anything from the last minute of that fight or the rest of the night. Because he just kept taking hits. And it's like, how? Both those guys. And yeah, you got to give the flowers to the guys who won, the champions now. I think Cyril's had a pretty long career. I think is from what he sounds like, maybe he feels like he should have had more opportunities for bigger moments and fights throughout his career. And here you go, he gets to fight on the White House and become a champion. I know it's only the interim belt, but and yeah, he's a good matchup, I think, for Tom Aspinall. but I don't think he's as fast. And Aspinall might wrestle him. Aspinall will be able to probably wrestle. That's something. So Topuria, I didn't even know this, but I thought he was just like a Conor McGregor like boxer. I knew he had a little bit of grappling and BJJ, Brazilian Jiu Jitsu, but I did not know that like when he first came in, he was almost like a foreign dude who was a good wrestler, like known for his wrestling and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu or whatever he trains. He was known for that shit, his grappling and wrestling. He's Georgian. So I don't know against why wouldn't I mean I guess maybe the shit like he knows he thinks he can beat him, and you could tell that Topuria was probably more talented, but Gaethje's shots were just landing better and hitting harder, and you could see Gaethje like this guy's good, man, fuck, like you could tell Gaethje was thinking, at least in my opinion, that damn, anyone else I've hit like this these many times is done, and this guy just won't let me get that one last knockout, but he keeps taking all this damage. And Justin kept saying he was hurt real bad. He's a respectable guy, so he's not gonna shit talk too much. He did say like sorry. He did say potentially that Topuria had that mindset that, oh, I'm gonna win. He like the overconfidence, and Justin had that mindset, was like, shit, I'm gonna get embarrassed out there. I have to keep working, obsessing over film, trying to find a hole in Topuria's game, working harder and harder on his physicality and being in shape, and that showed. And that's what he says. Yeah, I took that mindset that I'm going to lose if I don't, like, train like crazy. Not that Topuria doesn't train like crazy, but there's, like, levels to this shit. You know, everybody says that there's levels. Like, there's giving your all, and then there's extra motivation. Something, like, negative or that makes you mad or gives you some kind of reason or so, like, even fear. Fear can be that thing. That's why some of that, we sometimes in our culture, and hey, a lot of people like the consistency of life and, not too much of a struggle, but sometimes, avoiding the things that make you mad and trying to be in that blissful state. I believe in the yin and the yang. You need a little bit of that darkness. You need a little bit of that anger. If you're shooting for anything big, or even if your big goal, you could be like the Joker or Robin Hood vibe, or you're a little spicy, a little out there, a little bit. It's like dualism, a little bit positive, a little bit negative, but your main goal is well intentioned. You'll be protected. If your main goal is to, well, not necessarily. You might get hit by a train. Still, that's life. Like, I can't do anything about that. And someone could crash their car into you any given day. The roads, dude. You ever driven on a road? Okay, there's cars going this way, cars going that way, and sometimes they go really fast. Sometimes people are really drunk, and you're like separated really by how much? A couple of feet. Roads are sketch, bro. There's scary people that want to take people's lives away out there. Scary world sometimes, but historically, we're in a decent time. The average person, you don't really have to worry about getting like murdered or anything like that. But yeah, sometimes in this world there are some pretty sketchy places. Alright, so anyways, more in the UFC White House. The event itself. They talked a whole lot of... They were talking about the weather leading into it. I didn't really pay attention to that. I'm like, dude, they can control the weather. Dana White literally said, "Man, it was crazy. There was this huge thunderstorm, and for some reason, it just like the clouds like split. He's seen the clouds split." I'm sorry. Some people say that they can control the weather. I don't want to get flagged for anything on the tick. Some people say that, and it is a government website or a Harvard website that says that. Let's not get into that. If they want to say that. But we don't spread misinformation. That's bad. They can control the weather, 100%. So, yeah, I wasn't really into the whole like, oh, is the weather gonna be okay? This and that. I don't know. I thought the way they put things together was pretty neat to see the locker rooms in a random room in the White House, to see like press conferences in the White House, and the way they walked out like through the White House. Like you see the sports players going there when they win championships to go visit the president and stuff. Everybody's a little familiar with the White House. It's one of the most recognizable buildings in like human history, blah blah blah. I didn't think they made it like pro-Trump or anything like that. I know that he came out. It's on the White House lawn, not the Capitol lawn. It's not in front of the Capitol. It's in front of the White House where the president lives and does his work on. So it was like a presidential thing. They had odes to different presidents of the past, kinda. JFK, Nixon, a couple different dudes. None from recently though, because that would bring up political bias. Well, they did have, yeah, they had a. I don't know. Some of the little in between parts, I was doing other stuff and playing video games, but like, it seemed like they brought when they were doing like any kind of speech, they would bring up older presidents when they were doing those little video tributes. They did have Obama's was in there. So, balanced. I felt like it was balanced politically. It was an apolitical event, even though Trump was like, yeah, they'd go shake his hand, but because he is the president, you know what I'm saying? If the sitting president was Democrat, I don't think if Gavin Newsom gets elected president, I don't think he would oppose, you know what I'm saying? I don't think Gavin Newsom would oppose that. It would have been like, thank you, Mr. President. Like, you know what I'm saying? And then they had like the they brought out like first responders and different people, like veterans and stuff like that. It was kind of cool how they had like that eclipse thing adjacent to the actual White House lawn. They had this big thing with like 80,000 people in it, just crazy mob of people. They had this flyover with like the Blue Angels with like eight fighter jets. So yeah, overall, I really enjoyed the UFC fights. Every single fight was a knockout. So as a fan, that wasn't the best night of fights I've ever seen. I like some balance. I don't want to just see first and second round knockouts, especially when a lot of them had more of a TKO feel than a take your lights out feel. I know there's going to be a lot of people saying it was rigged and that type of stuff. Could it have been like Michael Chandler's gonna get knocked the fuck out by a guy that knocks people out. Michael Chandler's gonna get fucked up by a counter striker. So they had him up against Rufy, and he fucked him up. Sugar Sean O'Malley against a guy who maybe had a small amount of momentum, but I think it was fabricated a little bit for this fight. They could have. I know Aljamain Sterling went up in the division. That would have been a good rematch, but he went up a division. He's not going to want to drop down. Well, maybe for the White House he would have. But again, that was American on American. They wanted to pick I know Dana White said they didn't pick the fighters to have like America versus Canada, America versus this, America versus that. Um, but it did kind of have that feel just a little bit. What's going on? What's up, Get Rich Whitmar? Hell yeah. I don't want to get rich. I actually don't want to get rich. You know, make what I can make. You never know. I mean, yeah, if you have a pathway, I'll take that path if that's what life lays out. If I just do my thing, you know. But hell yeah, if that's your move, stack that paper then, you know. I respect all people's movements for the most part, unless they're derogatory and shitty towards other people. um, like Diego Lopez versus Garcia, there's a pretty high probability one of those guys are gonna knock each other out, and that's exactly Garcia was about to knock him out, and then he got knocked out. Heavyweights, Derek Lewis and Hokit. Derek Lewis not gonna be fast enough. Hokit's gonna play around with him until he gets a knockout or TKO. Probably could. He had an easy arm bar. They were saying, "Oh, he doesn't know how to do the arm bar. He knows how to fucking. He's a pro, dude. He knows how to do a fucking arm bar." The way he was yelling, you could tell he was just messing around. And I think he fucked up his shoulder too. But anyways, yeah, Derek Lewis, veteran. There's always questions about his motivation and how hard he actually works behind the scenes. He's a good fighter and a good dude. And he's come from a long way, and I like Derek Lewis. And he's funny. He's got a good personality. But Hokit just beat the fuck out of Curtis Blades, dude. Like Curtis Blades has fought for a title against Aspinall and got knocked out. So if Hokit could do that to Blades, Blades is better than Derek Lewis at this point in their career, so he was always gonna knock him out. They kind of, you have to kind of, if you want a whole fight card to be knockouts, you either have to rig it or you either have to tell people in the second round you go down, take the shots. So I know that the Zachary Hubbard and all the sports are rigged people will be all over it, and sometimes I mean there's some real interesting stuff in there. I'm not saying I wouldn't spend my time arguing against that shit. That's all I'm gonna say. I would not spend my time saying Zachary K. Hubbard is a Zionist shill. No. And he's trying to scam people with his sports picks by showing all these correlations and coincidences that eventually, due to probabilities, even if something's super high, if you keep doing it again and again and again, boom, you're going to get eventually, right? If something happens there's only 1 in a million chance this coincidence could happen. Well, yeah, there's a 1 in a million chance that any coincidence could happen. If they all have that, then and there's all these different combos and all these different potential things that things could correlate, it'd almost be silly to think that it wouldn't never happen. That you'd have these weird numbers in sports, they won 9-0 on the 9th day, and the dude's son turned 9, and 9 upside down is 6, number of the devil. So you can, but the other side of it is, it gets a little bit weird. It gets a little bit weird, and if you consume the content of Zachary K. Hubbard, the guy who's the sports are rigged gematria, I don't know. I'm not gonna argue against it. I'm not gonna spend my time. If you maybe at first glance, if you've never heard of it, someone's saying sports is rigged, I'm all mad. That's what I was at first. I wanted to debate him. I remember being live for an actual sports stream, and going live and bringing his page, this guy thinks sports are rigged, blah blah blah. And yeah, that didn't last that long, because I actually said, what the fuck's he talking about? Went and watched his content, and I'm not going to get into it. I don't want to get any misinformation, but it's some real interesting stuff, and it's consistent. he'll have something every day. He'll have some kind of baseball game. Oh, tribute, sacrifice, something crazy with the numbers and everything. That doesn't mean sports are necessarily like rigged, but for sports to be rigged, they could use like, I don't know. They probably have some kind of frequencies to brain control people or something like that. They don't need to know about it. It can be compartmentalized. The refs don't even have to know. They don't need to know. The shit they can do with frequencies and even like spiritual compelling and stuff. You know, you could have someone like, I'm telling you guys, you think NFL, you want to know how they rig it? They have a master spiritualist, magician, mage. They have a mage go on top of the stadium. And they're like, and they're just like, make him fumble. Oh shit, why'd I drop that? Oh, he knocked that ball out. He hit the arm at the right button. It's like hitting the A button. But hey, I'm 50-50. You can't, you're not doing that to every game every day all the time. But certain ones, sus. Some real susness. And honestly, just the entertainment value. You know, going from a hater to a follower of, I watch him a little bit sometimes. The sports are rigged. Gematria, numbers. It's entertaining, and he's crushes. Like, I appreciate anybody's content, and I used to not. But anybody trying to do something and they're performing well and they have a lot to say and they're interesting, like, you know, I ain't gonna hate. He smashed it. Like, he's pulling up all this shit, doing the coding. Like, it's cool, man. Hell yeah, you know. But yeah, I had a good weekend. Let's see, Brian. Oh, it's 444, and we're giving some. I was about to give some gratitude for the weekend I had. I had my daughter this weekend. Usually, we travel up to, and we stay with my parents for the weekends. I still got my room up there. Friends out there. There's a lot to do with family, visit grandparents, all that good stuff, you know. There's a little, about 20 minutes from there, Willoughby, Ohio. Just, if I wanted to go out at night and party, you know, I don't drink no more, but I still like to get down with it. And if I want to get real ballsy, I can drive another like 10 minutes from there. I'm in downtown Cleveland. You know what? You see how the AI summary says debating the White House UFC event and the idea of rigged sports. I give that a lot. I give it that right there a lot of credit. Sometimes the AI does good. I like that it used the word debating, because I'm not like, it's not like I'm debating with people or having a debate. You know, I don't have a lot of comments coming in or anything like that. But I'm kind of showing both sides of the coin and pick that up. I like that. But yeah, you know, we usually go up, and this time my parents were traveling, so we kicked it here. But you know, we make it fun. When I picked her up on Friday, oh man, it was a long weekend, huh? What did we do? We had to stop home, regroup a little bit. Then we went to the park. And they had this event going on, this nice auditorium. We walked around the whole thing trying to get in. Eventually, these girls like tracked us down. They like came up to us. I'm like, looks like I couldn't tell if they didn't like wave or anything. They're just walking towards me. So I just stood there like looking at them. And they came up and they're like, "Can we help you with anything?" And I was like, "Yeah, I was really just wanting to know what this event was or how much it was." And they're like, "Oh, it's $10, blah blah blah, go on the thing." They also sell passes. I'm like, damn, I thought this was gonna be some preppy expensive shit, but $10 ain't bad. And they had like food trucks and everything. They were doing like a Maroon 5 concert, and they said that they had like events all year and you can get a season pass or something. So it's like, damn, all right, now I know how this shit works. For next time, could be something to do. So we just kind of discovered something new. I've only lived in this area for 3 years, so it was nice to be with my daughter and kind of discover something new that we can do while hanging out at the park we go to a lot. And then we went to get something to eat. Every once in a while I take her to McDonald's. She likes, you know, the kids want to go there, get them a fucking Happy Meal. We don't do that too often. but every once in a while it's kind of fun. Uh, and then we try to eat healthy, you know. And then we had to go clean the cotton candy machine. I know the owner, the dude. I was doing a temp job at the mall for the janitorial services. Just a little like random. They might call you every once in a blue moon to show up for a few days, but they really didn't need anybody. Uh, and he was like, "Yeah, you know, I need somebody that lives in the area because I live an hour away. I need somebody to clean this machine for me. I'll give you a little, like, you know, 20, 15, $20 every time you go do it. Takes like 30 minutes to an hour. I can do it like in the evening, and I can just, you know, it's kind of fun using the back door of the mall, just walking in, and when it's closed, and the security knows me and all that. I got clearance. I got clearance to the mall, you know. But I like the janitorial sir. I should try to get a job there. Honestly, I like I like being a janny. Honestly, that's why I'm real. You know, I'm a real one. I don't. A lot of people buzzing around on the content. It's like they're using it as like, oh, this is my chance to like make money and be a fucking grappler, and you know, you always do this to make money, do that to make money. There's not a lot of real creation sometimes. There's a lot of real creation, but you know, there's a lot of like that fake shit, you know. But anyway, what else did I do? So we got that cotton candy machine clean. Then the next day, my dude was DJing this like outdoor event from like 11 to 3 or something. Went and kicked it at the live event. There wasn't really like a crowd for the auditorium, but there was a bunch of pop-up shops. I got my daughter this little cosmic brownie on a stick. I was like, how much is it? Like $4. I was like, I'd go to the motherfucking Dollar Tree and get 4 packs of goddamn cosmic brownies. But I was, you know, you're at the thing. In the back of my head, I'm just like, yeah, okay, they were good though, but you have to like, it's like just a brownie on a stick. Like, it was little too. It was like, I was like thinking it would be like $3, but it was 4. So that's just, see, I'm not like that, you know. But I am though, because you think about it, you really could just literally go to Dollar Tree and get 4 fucking boxes. I fucks with Dollar Tree. It's a good. It's beautiful. It's beautiful, man. And then we from there, would we stop at home or something? Oh no, we went to the park. We went to the park. Um, it's got more MILFs, and it's also a nice park. It's got a high MILF rate. And more cultural diversity. You know what I'm saying? I might want to. No, I'm not a holler. I mean, I can't. You know, you just talk. You just start talking sometimes, and shit. I don't know. I want to meet a girl with like the hijab. The you know, the pure Muslim woman. I want to have a phase where I date a pure Muslim woman and then live a rough lifestyle in the background, but she helps me stay whole. But then she eventually finds out about my criminal dealings and breaks up with me. But I try to change for her first. But you can't change for somebody else. You can never truly change yourself for someone else. You can only change yourself for yourself. What's next? So then we went home for a little bit. Then we went out to eat, dude. I was like, I want to take my daughter. She's only 5. So I want to test it out, see if we can go somewhere fancy. I went to this fancy ass sushi place. I got the sashimi combo with the thing, and they get these raw hunks of fish. Oh, you get these big hunks, man, of raw fish, of like the salmon and the tuna and the whatever else it was. It was amazing. It was like the best food I had all year. Alright, I think this bonehead was just sitting here giving me a bunch of likes, and it says pro hacker. I assuming they were gonna troll me if I said anything to them, so now I'm waiting till they leave. But thanks for all the likes. I thought I was gonna get hacked, dude. I'm sitting there this whole time like, hope this fucking guy leaves. He's about to hack me, bro. When you see like over and over it says pro hacker likes your thing, I'm just like, oh man, I'm not gonna say anything to make this gentleman mad. Thank you for the likes, sir. I don't want to deal with but it just ends up being a waste of your time. You know what I'm saying? You want to stay healthy, man. The two biggest things: you don't argue with idiots, and you don't argue with like narcissists. The argument is always going to be them wanting to peddle and showing that they give no ground. I must show them that I never give ground. When I was seeing a narcissistic girl, it was very annoying. They would get mad at you over stupid things and then invalidate any kind of concern or anything you wanted to say. It's just like, yeah, you can go do that with someone else. You babe, I'm not gonna be the one to complain about it or get too mad at the woman. I'm gonna say, shoot, shebang, shebang. I'm gonna be like Drake, you know, shebang. I tend to stay out of the dating world, you know. My D&B, my Deacon Bowles have made a child, and I was married, and so you know, what else? I get to be a father, you know. There's no pressure. There's no pressure, you know. I wish everybody could think like that, you know. But everybody in the social media, everybody's playing like the one-up game. You feel me? Everybody's like, it's a pissing contest. Everyone is showing how long they can piss. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a douche, but when I go on my personal, I don't know. Whenever I go on, you just see like the flexing, like the middle class flex to the max. Like, you know, on a Friday, they're posting their $20 martinis. You just want to just tip it over. You know, you see these men, you know, people get married and then they're drinking the martinis with the fucking sprinkles on it, and they got a poodle, and I'm like, man, I could go kiss a dude and I'd feel manlier than that, for fuck's sakes. Like, damn, bro. I don't know, man. It's just everyone always shows the best, man. I'm vulnerable. I'm an iceberg. You know, there's a whole Fried Bryan series. I think we only have one episode. I think I filmed a second one, but it's a banned episode. I have these banned episodes. They're not necessarily like would get banned by YouTube. Oh shit, I gotta drag the puzzle piece into place or they're gonna take me down on TikTok. Uh-oh, you guys. They're challenging me. Oh, I'm an AI bot, I can't do this. I got it. I got the puzzle piece. They made me slide the puzzle piece into place. Damn it, they did that to me on purpose. They know that I'm neurodivergent. I'm currently being shadow casted by Jennifer Aniston in the dark state. Alex Jones is a cross agent. I'm the real truther, and I know all the true secrets. But Alex Jones has been gatekeeping me. I'm currently Mark Zuckerberg. Is shadow stalking me using direct energy weapons, and I need your help. Please donate to me. No, don't. Find my Cash App. It ain't on here. It ain't on my YouTube. My Cash App ain't on nowhere. Listen, I don't. Maybe there's some things I do out and about. Maybe you get direct payment, you know, brand to consumer payment. But for the most part, you know, it's through a service. I'm not a grifter. I don't really ever ask for people to send me money to Cash App or anything like that. Listen, if I work hard enough, and my words reach all the right people that would want to be my people and listen to what I have to say and this and that and keep building, I'll work it out with TikTok and YouTube, man. That's how I feel about myself. And Spotify and shit. I'll work it out with them. I don't want to ask like the people's. So many people are little grifters on here, and if people really want to like support it, I'll try to have like a little Patreon that you can get or something. I'm not really gonna post exclusive content. It's just a way if you want to support or sponsor. But other than that, like I don't even have that up or anything like that yet. And maybe they won't let. I don't know. Do I say too much bad stuff? I don't think so. I don't think I mean, yeah, actually, it said I've earned 1 cent from TikTok so far. I said that the other day, and I've also was reading through all of like over the last year since I started my TikTok. Your comment banned for violation. Your comment banned for violation, and then and then I started live streaming just recently on TikTok while I was doing my. If I'm going live on YouTube, I'm not really using my phone. Might as well dual cast it, And I'm sitting there reading, and it's like hate speech, misinformation. I'm like, I was telling both sides. I tell both sides of the coin for stuff. I don't take the sides. But if I explain one side, they don't give me a chance to. Even if I do it first, if I explain the one thing and I explain the other side's view, it's like, oh, they give me one of them is gonna get me in trouble. I don't know if they favor the. I can't figure it out with TikTok if they favor the left or favor the right. It seems like anything. It almost seems like if you don't pick a side, they don't like that. That's what I'm feeling. I say a lot of things that are like giving a holistic view and a different way to look at things. And I think that's because then you lose money, You might not watch Fox News anymore. Heaven forbid. But man, look, man, I'm preaching to the choir, right? If you're watching this, you're probably tired of all the bullshit. There's a lot of people that are grifters on this and full of bullshit, but there's also a lot of good people too. I like all those Instagram freak shows. But yeah, let's see. Let's get on with my weekend with my daughter. Well, I have her every other weekend, so it's not like some. But this time it was different because we didn't go up and visit family. So we're like buzzing around town. We went out to eat to the nice sushi place. Best food I had all year. It's amazing. Those sashimi, big chunks of raw fish. It's good stuff. I felt amazing. And then I went and picked up my homie. And we hung out at his house for a little bit. His dad got to meet my daughter. And then we went over our other buddy's house for a bonfire. Like this big yard in the back. They had this frisbee, glow-in-the-dark frisbee. I had a couple of drops that I was a little disappointed about. I haven't played frisbee in a while. But I had some good plays. I had a couple real good plays, Or I just tracked that frisbee down, made a nice, sick one-handed catch. It's like someone will throw it and it'll go way off, and I'll just go sprinting. I'm pretty good at reading where shit's gonna land and stuff. And there was this floaty ball too. You ever see that? It's like it's like a ball with a spinner and it's glow in the dark. And if you just toss it like this, it's like the Quidditch thing from Harry Potter. And it would just up into the sky. So yeah, it was a good weekend. And the next day we went over to my grandparents' house. They ordered some delicious Italian food. It's kind of it's a far drive, but it's like an hour, 15. So yeah, spent some time with family. Got a little bit of work done for them in their yard. I try to make their yard. They're old, they can't work on their yard, but they want to try to keep it nice. So whenever I'm up in town, I do a little yard work for them, do as much as I can, I'm a pretty good landscaper, though. My creative abilities translated to landscaping. I did a lot of landscape like growing up, not even just like working for anything, but just at my house. Like my dad would give me a task and you do the tasks. And then, yeah, you know, my body's been super sore, so you get loading up on some fish one night, and then Italian food. And then tonight I had wings and nachos, just sizing it up, you know. That cheese, man, cheese is like heroin, they say. All right, I need to take a break, get a pee, get some water. Actually, what am I at 2? Yeah, we're about at 2 hours. We're gonna call that. I got some other shit I need to do. Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you all for tuning in. What a great show. What a great audience. I was maybe all over the place. I don't even know. Talk about some good stuff. All right. Maybe. Yep. Winning. Charlie Sheen gets his vibe from me. Charlie Sheen stole my identity. I'm going to be one of those Instagram crazy people. They think they're being shadow stalked by, this is a $15 watch from Walmart. Yeah, I'm doing it big. I got these gloves on sale too. They're in the clearance, man. They were like $25. I got them for $7. I figured like it'd be cool, I don't know, to have these as like gloves when it gets cold. It's kind of fun. I have normal gloves too, but switch it up, you know. All right, guys, as always, keep it real. Thank everybody for tuning in, and you know, it's just it goes in the library, man. My streams, I don't do no dead air. I don't wait for the comments. I got my stuff. A lot of times my brain just takes over and does the whole talk. I'm still kind of new, don't have a big audience, so I invest some time in my shows talking about what I'm about in my life. Unfortunately, the stream, once it goes to TikTok, I guess like it saves in a thing where I can like edit some clips out. But yeah, YouTube is where everything is like saved. I'm recording on YouTube right now. We're live. We got 30,000 viewers, so that's pretty cool. I don't think we have anybody on TikTok. I don't know what's going on there. No, I'm just playing out. Probably have no one over there. It's fucking 5 in the morning. My audience really isn't awake at this time usually, but it's the world, man. That's media. You got to be worldwide. Worldwide prestige. But yeah, don't, I don't know. I don't even know. I think everybody tries to give too much advice in this bitch. Everybody is always in their high and mighty. What works for me might not work for you. So my advice is like, don't listen to all the advice. Because it's going to make you think you have to live a certain way. And your brain is going to be trained. The dopamine is going to be trained by living somebody else's life. Study your own. Because you took too much advice from Andrew Tate. Take your nuggets. Everybody's nuggets. Get everybody's nuggets. Grab their nuggets. Grab them nuggets and dip them in some sweet and sour. Don't dip your nuggets in some old ranch that's been sitting out all day. Because guess what? It ain't going to taste good and it ain't going to make you happy. But if you find your favorite sauce, that's what you dip your nuggets in, bro. You dip your nuggets in your favorites. You dip your chicken nuggets in your favorite sauce. And keep it real. Then, you know, that's the advice. That's the best advice. I mean, you know, I think it's funny that like a lot of these advice guys, they just have like, now it's not even, it was for a little bit, you would actually have to live in Beverly Hills and be like walking down by someone's rich mansion in the background. Now they got all the AI background stuff. Oh my God. The people that like, that's like their lane. It's so funny. I love that I at least have these full podcasts that I can go back and clip stuff out of, and it's just rangy, all sorts of different topics. Like, I couldn't imagine making those, like, you know, how many dudes is doing that? So many. Like, they think like, oh, I'm gonna jump on that train of like the influencer bullshit, and it's the same exact stuff day to day. They just follow popular influencers and then make their own version of it, and it's like, dude, you're not you're not as good looking as the guy who made the video. You used to brag about pimping hoes. There's literally, I've seen that before. Someone who, like, even just a year ago, they're doing the whole good guy thing now. Going out on dates to like shitty pizza places with a girl and her kid to make themselves look good. Bunch of guys always doing that kind of shit. Going for a single mom just to try to make themselves look, just for the photo op to make it look like they're fatherly or something. And it's just crash. A lot of them are crashing out, and they just want attention, and they're trying to like show something for their exes. Like, look, I'm changed. I'm different now. It's like, bro, get out the way. Get out the way for the real ones. People are tired of the fakes and the flakes. If you don't have a clipboard, get the fuck off the internet. And you ain't got a clipboard, I got my Google Keep Notes. That shit's my second brain, man. That's my second brain. I recommend Google Keep Notes for anybody doing anything ever. Even if you're like a troll, dude, it's even if somebody's out there, like, write down the best things that make people the most scared, dude. Hell yeah. Like, everybody. If you're a doctor, you need to write down your shit. If you're a terrorist, you gotta write down your plans. Like, you know what I'm saying, dude? That's crazy, man. I'm about to go get cross-faded off some paint thinner, dude. About to party on some thinner all night. Let's get it. Party like it's... The effects of paint thinner. Ooh. No, I don't do that. That's crazy. Dude, I'm cross-faded on paint thinner and computer duster and huffing gas. I'm triple cross-faded, dude. My hair was real curly. I went out to the bar earlier. Then I came home. I put on the hat. I didn't want to grift. If my hair looks too good, I'll get too many. I don't know. You know, I don't know what I'm trying to say right there, but I don't want to be too sexy, you know. I don't want to be like mind controlling people, because I come out with my hair looking like I'm in Vogue or something sometimes, you know. I used to not have good hair. It takes hard work though. Like, there's a lot of hair I got, man. It was like a rat's nest, dude. I had to get so much of the conditioner in there. No wonder, yeah, that's why girls take so long. Sometimes if it gets fucked and ratty, you gotta do like 3 rounds of conditioner and shampoo. My butthole, man, it stank. Man, took like, I had to use like 10 pounds. I just had all this soap, dude. I just had to keep soaping and soaping. That's nasty. No, I'm kidding. I gotta turn TikTok off before I say shit like I'm allowed to say nasty stuff on YouTube, I think. On TikTok. TikTok got mad because I said the gambling dude, Brendan Sorsby, was probably sitting there doing it. One hand on DraftKings, the other hand on his wanking off while... But he's got, you know, gambling addiction. It's usually accompanied with other things like... Living the American dream. One hand on the Xbox, one hand on my... Ding! But yeah, you know, I gotta say, in my shows, my goal is I want to provide people... Oh, shit. I think TikTok just banned me for that. For saying Brendan Sorsby was. Alright, I'm done. I don't have anything else to say. I'm gonna go. I'll move on to some shit. We'll catch you guys later. As always, keep it real. Peace.